It is another edition of the On the Mic podcast with My MMA News. I am Mike Pendleton, and first time on the program, so I'm very excited to talk to her. She's a true veteran and pioneer of women's MMA. She's a former Invicta FC champion, making her Bellator debut this Friday. Pam Sorenson. Pam, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I really appreciate your time. Exciting time, I obviously would assume, joining Bellator. I know you had a lot of great things to say about Invicta and your time there, but kind of what was this process like, leaving Invicta on great terms and then coming over to Bellator?
It was actually really easy. I mean, Shannon over at Invicta, she is all about her fighters, and she realized that she just couldn't keep me busy. There wasn't a whole lot of featherweights left there who had more than a handful of fights. So we went to her and we asked for a release, and she just said, of course. I mean, I understand completely, and go do what you need to do for you.
And obviously a great move for you. Weird times, it's like business is booming for Bellator. Some people look at the other promotions, the one with the three letters, and ask, is there any 145 fighters out there, in the women's featherweight division? And you look at Bellator now, including yourself, there's plenty of opportunity and opponents for you. What do you make of Bellator's women's featherweight division?
And it is definitely the place to be if you're a featherweight, because that other promotion that you made reference to, they have 2-3 actual featherweights, and the rest bounce back and forth between bantamweight and featherweight. And I don't even know if they want to. Do they even have a rankings for?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is definitely the place to be. I mean, I loved my time at Invicta, but most of the veterans, the girls who have a lot of fights who are at featherweight, this is where they are. So this is where I want to be.
Yeah. And so with that being said, obviously you'll make your Bellator debut here this Friday, Bellator 264. What are you expecting for the end of this year? Obviously you're focused one fight at a time, but what are you expecting to do, and how often would you like to compete now inside Bellator?
Like you said, I just try to take it one fight at a time. Ideally, I would like to fight again this year. I would like to fight twice this year, and hopefully a couple times next year, or maybe even more than a couple times. I mean, I just want to stay active. I'm not getting any younger. I've had enough time off. Hopefully all the health issues are behind me. So I'm just looking forward to just staying active.
No, you had some surgeries that did sideline you for some time, and just overall your general health. How are you feeling? I'm not trying to do the generic media, what was training camp like, but with a pandemic and everything that you kind of had some setbacks and bumps in the road, how are you personally, physically feeling, not just heading into this fight, but just overall?
Overall, I feel great. The pandemic, the time off I don't want to say the pandemic itself was a blessing in disguise, but the time off the pandemic kind of forced was kind of a blessing in disguise, because I think we got everything kind of under control, and I feel better than I have in a very, very long time. So I think I'm going to be the best version of me out there yet. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's very exciting for fight fans of you and Bellator fans overall. You mentioned the rankings. We kind of laughed about the other promotion and the lack of rankings. And I know Bellator has recently implemented rankings not too long ago, and almost every fighter I talk to on the roster absolutely loves it. Not because it's, finally there's a number next to their name, but it allows opportunities for young fighters or, fighters jumping into the promotion, an opportunity to make their mark immediately. Do you like, the system that they have, the ranking system that they have, and just the opportunity it allows you already in your debut?
I do. I mean, I think just in life in general, I like to know where I stand. I mean, whether I like it or not, I just want to know where I am. And, a ranking system does that. It shows you exactly where you are, who's ahead of you in line, who you need to beat, what you need to do. So I think it just takes a lot of the guesswork and, some of the favoritism out of it.
You obviously can't say, Bellator and featherweight without mentioning, obviously, former champion Julia Budd and Chris Cyborg. And, you have so many names, yourself included, getting into the featherweight division. And I think most importantly, staying in the featherweight division. not going back and forth like you mentioned, in other promotions. How focused are you, obviously, to not only get to the top, but having a matchup if Chris Cyborg is champion when you get to the top?
Oh, that would be, I mean, I've wanted to fight her for a very long time. She's even said openly that she wants to fight me as well. And I hate to say it, but kind of like out of spite, out of the president of that other promotions, he made some comments I wasn't too happy about when it came to, Cyborg mentioning that she wanted to fight me. So I kind of, other than wanting to fight the best and be the champion of Bellator, kind of another motivator is I kind of like to throw that back in his face.
Yeah, it's always great shutting people up and proving them wrong. And obviously that guy is known for making some crazy statements, and I can't wait to see you obviously get to the top. But you've held belts before, Pam, and like I said, a true veteran and pioneer of women's MMA. What drives you to not only just join Bellator and get more competition, stay active, but say, I still have and want to prove that I'm the best and I want that belt?
I'm just a competitive person. Everything I do, I want to be not only the best version of me, but I also want to be better than other people. So, kind of climbing your way up the rankings and hopefully one day taking that belt, will do that.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that matchup. Now, what do you make of just kind of how Bellator and Scott Coker have been doing business, especially in 2021? I mean, they had probably the best fight of the summer with AJ McKee, and it's really looking like so many things are paying off in the Scott Coker and Bellator business. And now bringing in you to a division with plenty of names, like I mentioned, you got Julia Budd, you got Chris Cyborg there around the top, and so many other girls there. But they bring in the ranking system. They have the Showtime deal. They packed, Los Angeles for that AJ McKee fight. And it seems like they're just moving forward, and it's just green check marks all the way throughout. Whereas other promotions, not even just the UFC, but some promotions are struggling to put on fight events. They're struggling to keep their fighters. So like you are really joining while like the stock and the riders just going straight to the top. What do you make of how business is in your new promotion right now?
It's it definitely looks promising. I'll say that because, like you said, looking at some of these other promotions who they're not doing very many, even if they are putting shows on, they're not doing very many because with the COVID protocols, it's a pain in the butt. It's Bellator, from what I've seen so far since I've gotten here really early this morning, they have a system down, they have it figured out, and they figured out a way to kind of roll with the punches. So I mean, and that's what any business needs to thrive.
You said you're feeling the best, and this is going to be that generic media question. The ones I hate to ask, but they kind of come about. Obviously, you look great. You say you feel great. What should fans expect from you this Friday at Bellator 264?
They should expect the best version of me that they have seen yet. I've been in the gym the last 2 years that I've had off. I've been improving on a lot of things, working on a lot of new stuff. So I'd say just look forward to a good fight and look forward to seeing a brand new fighter out there.
That definitely gives fans a lot to be excited for. When we look ahead, obviously just one fight at a time, but just overall, when we look to Friday, when you talk about that time off that you had, what did you find within yourself like that relit that fire? And obviously you just want to get healthy. Health is most important, no matter if you're a fighter or not. But as you got healthy, as you got your release, what did during this time off were you like, that's it, like I'm back, I'm me, and I'm gonna be better than ever?
I would say just the thought that, I mean, not only 2 years ago when I had my really big surgery, I had it was still a big surgery back in November, but it wasn't as big. There's always the possibility that you might not be able to do it anymore. And for me, realizing that, hey, if I work at it hard enough, I can come back. I can still do this. I'm not too old. I don't have too many problems or whatever. It really motivated me. And I think it made me become 10 times a better fighter than I was before.
to be in that conversation as a pioneer for women's MMA and all that you've done, what does that mean to you when you have a long list of names? And we've mentioned one of them, Chris Cyborg and all that she's done, for women's MMA, all that you've done for women's MMA, to be in that conversation as someone who has paved the way, not just for female fighters, but for people getting into the sport, closed-minded fans who once thought, or promoters who once thought women would never fight, inside cages. And you're one of them, and you've done it for so long. When I say pioneer, like, what does that mean to you?
I just look at it. So I remember one of the guys, who I train with now, before we even trained together, he was at a different gym, and my very first amateur fight, I fought on the same card as him, and they had never even seen a woman back in the locker rooms before there. And when I met him, he was like, I remembered seeing you there. And I thought, who is this little girl back in the locker rooms? And I think it's just really cool to be kind of a part of the process that got rid of that way of thinking that, like, who's this girl that girls don't fight? Like, yeah, we do. And a lot of times we do better than the men. So
what is your message then to like younger girls who are, because I'm in Chicago, and right now, like the Midwest, it does notoriously hurt for talent. I mean, you obviously have the Pettis brothers from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but there's actually probably the most young talent we have is female based here in this area. So what do you say to those younger girls who want to get to the Bellator stage, who want to get to, Invicta one day, or girls in general who think, I want to fight, but like you said, that previous thinking, girls don't fight. I don't know if I really want to do it.
I say don't take no for an answer. I mean, whether it's coaches, whether it's training partners, we're always going to have those obstacles like, oh, I don't want to train with the girl because not only I don't want to hurt her, or you don't want to get beat by her. Don't accept that. If you're at a gym where that's a problem, it's probably not the gym for you. So just recognize your worth, don't degrade yourself, and don't take no for an answer.
Beautifully said, Pam, and I really do appreciate all your time today. Before I let you go, though, what's your message to Bellator's women's featherweight division?
Like I told Chris Cyborg on Twitter, I'm home, I'm here to stay, and I'm looking forward to making a statement on Friday.
Can't wait to see it. It should be scary time. It's Friday the 13th. I've waited all interview to pull out a Friday the 13th corny dad joke, but there it is. Can't wait to see you inside the Bellator cage and make your Bellator debut this Friday, August 13th. Pam Sorenson, thank you so much.
Thank you.